Second game, though, Roosters up against the Titans. Titans, of course, sneak into the 8 with a whole lot of things going their way in the final week. The Roosters, who have got probably an NRL grade team on the injured list, are still there. They're probably a top 4 team if they stayed healthy all season. Surely they take care of the Titans, though, Fisky.
I'm declaring the Roosters. I'm hot to trot on them. I've had a look back through it, and I do feel the Titans have a bit of a weak underbelly. They're 0-6 against top 6 sides, and then Roosters playing sides outside the top 6 of 14-1. Just that slip up against the Broncos early in the year at the SCG. So they've pretty much dominated everyone below them on the ladder. Titans have battled against everyone above them on the ladder. And Radley's back. They're finding a little bit of combination in the halves. Jared's been rested for the fortnight. I just see this one-way traffic. I'm really impressed with how the Roosters have put things together under duress. And, I think the sign of how good they've gone this year under Robinson is like when you get a side like Manly, if you get a few injuries, they're down near the bottom 6. Saw that last year. Roosters got the same amount of injuries and have moved from 1st or 2nd down to 4th or 5th or 6th. So they've hung in there, and now they've actually got a bit of fresh look about them. Crichton had a bit of a freshen up, came back well. I think their back row is awesome. I think their pack is awesome. And like I say, finding a bit of continuity in the halves, and Teddy's just as good as anyone at the moment.
He's sort of not gone missing. He's played at a high level all season, but the fact that Latrell and Tommy Turbo have also been turning on, he's sort of been a wee bit of a forgotten man in terms of just how good he really is.
I think I've liked it because it reminds me of sort of West back in 17 or 16 when they just had nothing, and Teddy would take it on himself and score from first receiver or dummy half even. Like, he just had to find the ball to score, and he's had to do that this year. In the past with Kiri running around and Manu and the like, they haven't really had to rely on Teddy. He's just chimed in at the right time. Now he's going to look for it, and it's working. I love it.
Surely they deserve some sort of special recognition for being able to come through the season with all of the injuries they've had. And it's been huge. Of course, they lost Joey in the last week. I don't know. Blake?
Yeah, I totally agree with Fisky. My morals for the weekend, the Roosters, I'm just looking at the side now, and they could be a smoky for the comp. This is a great side. And we just mentioned Tedesco. He's doing things, but his season has been that good to me, but it hasn't been recognised because of how great Tommy Turbo's season has been. Now, let's think about Teddy. He's been playing fullback, but also about play 3 or 4. Gets up and he'll either play hooker or first receiver and start running the show. So he's instantly sort of gave Sam Walker an easy run into first grade to sort of find his feet, the same as the other halves. And you're starting to see Drew Hutchinson play better the last couple of weeks. I'll put all this down to Teddy, this run throughout the year. I mean, the young players have stepped up, but he's had his hands on the ball about 3 times a set. And that might be, from getting an offload or just a nice little tip on, anything. But he's getting involved. And I think this is possibly one of his best seasons. It just hasn't been recognised because he's not busting tackles, making those breaks that he did in his Dally MU. But I reckon he's up there and kept his team afloat. And now that they've got the troops back, Radley, you've got Isaac Liu, who's been awesome all year. He's on the bench. We've got Sam Walker to come off the bench. Mate, I think they win this quite convincingly. And like I said, I have them now after looking for this team. No more injuries. Ruffy, if they're thereabouts at the end.
Blake, did you ever play with Adam Kieran? I remember he had a year at the Warriors. He was impressive last week.
I did, mate. I did. And I think center's his position. He's got a great kicking game, but the Warriors bought him as a half. But he was actually New South Wales Cup Centre of the Year before he come to the Warriors, or it might have been the year before that. But he's slotted into the center's position, awesome, and he's great to have as a goal kicker. And also, I think they said it was 2 years in a row he scored a hat trick on the final round. He scored a hat trick for the Warriors last year. Scored a hat trick for the Roosters this year. So I know I'll be back in round 26 next year.
Very, very well. Short, Carl, you give the Titans a chance, don't you?
Nah, that was last week's win was we don't need to discuss it anymore. It was blown out of proportion. Like the other boys here, the Roosters are the lock for the weekend. They just won. I'm just looking. They've won their last 7 straight against the Titans, and might even go back further than that. No chance.
Yep, I'm with the boys here. I really love the Roosters. Once again, a forward pack and a very, very good coach will take you a long, long way in finals football. And the Roosters have got both of those, as well as a few other pieces.